Hello, and welcome to our broadcast brought to you by Lakecam, Lakeville's community access channel. My name is Joanne, and today I will be interviewing Mark Knox for the open seat on the Board of Selectmen. This position has garnered a lot of interest. We have had 6 individuals who have filed their paperwork for considering this position for election. We have prepared a few questions to help the citizens of Lakeville learn about the candidates, and each candidate will have an opportunity to answer the same questions. In addition, we encourage the voters to attend the Selectmen Candidate Forum, which will take place and is scheduled on Wednesday, October 16th at 7 p.m. inside the Great Ponds Gallery of the Lakeville Public Library. The forum will also be available on Lakecam's government channel, Comcast 9 or Verizon 31, and on vimeo.com/Lakecam. Welcome, Mark, and thank you for meeting with me.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and my first question is, would you take a moment to share your background and why you are interested in running for the open seat on the Board of Selectmen?
Sure. My parents moved to Lakeville when I was 1, so I consider myself a Lakeville resident for about 46 years. I did move away for a couple of years when I couldn't afford a home in Lakeville when me and my wife got married. We lived in an apartment in Rainham for a short period. As soon as we could, we moved back when we could afford a place. We raised our children here, and we still reside here. I own and operate a business in town. I have about 11 employees. Probably 6 years ago, I took interest in taking part in civics in the town. I currently sit on the Conservation Commission, and I'm a member of the Planning Board. I enjoy offering my time for service to the town. Both those positions are unpaid. I think that's about it. I mean,
Okay.
it's in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, okay. Why do you think the voters should consider you the best candidate for the position?
Well, I'm fiscally conservative. I think I've, through my success in business, proven that I can run and manage a business and handle the responsibilities of, making the ends meet with the means you have. I'm articulate. I think I can speak well to people and get my point across well. I understand an issue at hand and try not to get sidetracked from that. And again, I'm proving already, and I want to serve the town. I don't really want anything from it as much as just I saw an opportunity to do well for the town, and I was a little disappointed last year when I didn't take a chance to run for selectman. And it was a unopposed race, and now we see the swing in the pendulum to a very opposed race with 6 candidates, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's 6 of you.
So,
Taking a stab at it.
yeah.
Okay. Can you elaborate on any prior experience that you have had serving the town and how this experience will help you in this position?
Yeah, well, as I've said, I'm currently on the Planning Board and the Conservation Commission. I think that those are both valuable experiences because it's helped me to understand the Robert's Rules of Order and how a meeting runs, speaking with the public, and whether it be in an instance like this or I just came from my conservation meeting, and I think those are valuable parts of that position. And I guess that's all of my town experience that I can honestly say.
That's fine.
But I do think those are valuable things.
Okay. Valuable background for being a selectman.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think are the most pressing issues facing the town of Lakeville today, and what would you do if you were on the board to help address them?
I'm sorry, could you repeat
Sure.
the first part?
What do you think are the most pressing issues facing the town of Lakeville today, and what would you do if you were on the board to help address them?
Well, recently we had an override vote that was for some paving where we didn't have the money in the coffers to pay for it, so we went for the override. When I say we, the selectmen offered up the vote to the town to either choose or oppose that. In instances like that, which I think that is going to be an ongoing issue for the town, is we do need to do a lot of paving, and if the funds aren't there, to come up with a way. And at town meeting, I spoke out against the marijuana.
Coming to town.
Yeah, all forms of dispensary and legalization to be sold in town. But I do kind of view that as it could be a valuable income stream for the town if it's managed properly, which is, I think, very important that it be managed properly. I don't want to see a lot more dispensary or the host community agreements given out, but I think we should focus on the ones that are there and try to make sure that those companies can help to generate the tax dollars we need to then do the paving. And we wait until we have that money in order to spend it.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest issues we have right now, is just some of the added budget things that we'll face and how do we pay those. And I think that's first thing that comes to mind, is to try to cultivate the tax dollars that we would gain from marijuana sale.
Okay. All right. What role do you see the board playing in preserving the character of the town of Lakeville? And what should we continue to preserve, and what do we need to consider to change?
Well, multifaceted question. I think that the Board of Selectmen, I mean, they can help to preserve, because they are the appointing committee for several, or they're the appointing board for several committees in town, be it Conservation Commission, the Open Space Committee, Zoning Board of Appeals, in which, they're going to be the interviewing party that picks those people that are going to make those decisions, which are a direct reflection of the Board of Selectmen. The character, I think, in town that needs to be saved, I think it's that hometown USA, kind of more of a rural town than a commercial town. But changes that need to happen in town probably are just that as well. We need some commercial development as town goes on. Those are also valuable tax revenue streams coming from a business that doesn't put children in the school system, as long as it's done well. Attractive buildings, which that's a planning board thing, which I am familiar with, which I would like to say that I was not on the planning board when the Dollar Tree thing went through, and they're all good people on the planning board, and were then, but I know there was some point of contention about that building. So I don't want to be labeled as the guy that approved it. So again, I mean, I think commercial development is important in town, but it needs to be done right. It needs to be done on Main Street, not in on little weirdly zoned industrial parcels in town. And some of those things are out of the Board of Selectmen's control, but for example, the design of those buildings in purview through the planning board, but this Board of Selectmen could help with maybe a review of bylaws to clean up how that process goes. Did I hit all the points? I'm going off memory?
No, you hit all the points. That's fine. Is there anything else that you might like to add that you feel is important that the citizens should know about that we didn't touch on?
Yeah. And again, I'm not on social media.
Several people?
Yeah, well, I guess there's a lot of people that are. I hear a lot of feedback sometimes. Again, to me, it's water off a duck's back, but I think it's probably valuable for me to talk about. In the past, it's probably been a 9-month process, but I purchased the old police station. The town put it out for public bid. It was advertised, and a real estate agency had it on their website, and I was the only bidder. And I know that's a point of contention for some people who want to maybe bombastically throw out a tweet or a Facebook post about how something went underhandedly. I was the only guy, and I didn't pay $1. I paid a lot more. I assume it's all
Public
recorded in public knowledge through those meetings, the Board of Selectmen's meetings. I presented a letter of my intent. They are holding me to, I actually had to post a bond that guarantees that I tear down the building, and if I don't, they'll tear it down with my money. So I want to kind of clear the record on that there was no backroom deal. It was all, like I said, publicly advertised, and I was the only bidder. I was the only person that went to the walkthrough on the building. And so I know that they've had to defend themselves about that, but I think a lot of people weren't very engaged, or they just want to step in afterwards and just say something.
Okay. Anything else besides that? Anything else about maybe what you might want to do as a Board of Selectmen?
Well, again, I mean, I think just to keep the town on the straight and narrow and to keep us within a budget limit that we can afford without having to raise the taxes on the townspeople. I know that as soon as the new police station was finished, which is a beautiful building, there was some talk from the fire department that maybe we could be next. So I'm not saying that that's the case. That's obviously, that would be a town vote thing. But how that gets managed, is that another tax increase? I think that's more of a ballot question, but it's something that's probably going to have to be broached in the next 3 to 5 years. And if that's the case, I might be a selectman. And I mean, I would be favorable towards the new fire department if it's affordable and doesn't overburden the townspeople.
Okay. All right. Well, I would like to thank you, Mark, for your thoughts and comments and for coming in. I know the voters of Lakeville appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. And I'm going to remind everyone that the Selectmen's Candidate Forum will be held on October 16th, which is also the last day that you can register to vote for the special town meeting. That will take place on Tuesday, November 5th. Hope to see you at the polls.